There are numerous reasons why people choose to become hermits. Some choose to live alone away from the trappings of modern society, while others leave their old lives behind following a trauma. In the late summer of 1901, a mysterious auburn or brown-haired woman appeared on the west coast of Scotland, living at Ardmaddy, around 16 miles south of Oban. She had a tarpaulin for shelter, and it was claimed she foraged for food, gathering shellfish on the shore and eating wild berries. When she was offered help, she refused, determined to be self-sufficient. She became known as the Easdale Hermit. The coast where she was staying was exposed to the wild weather, but despite this, she said she was fit and healthy. In fact, she claimed her health was improving. Asked why she had taken to this rough lifestyle, she refused to answer. Rumours were rife as to who she was, or why she was there, and where she'd come from. One of the most popular was that she was the granddaughter of a Highland clergyman who'd run away. The people who spoke to her didn't think she had any mental health issues, but said she just wanted to be left to live simply in the solitude of her surroundings. While there, she attracted a lot of visitors who wanted to see her for themselves, as it was such an unusual situation. That winter was severe. In December it was particularly bad, yet she remained within the grounds of Ardmaddy Castle, still without shelter. She used a little stove made from pebbles to warm her kettle and cook over, and for heat. She gathered wood from the shore and the surrounding area to keep her fire going. She appeared to onlookers that she was impervious to the wet and cold, and continued to take her daily dip each morning in the sea. A photographer managed to take her photograph, and when it was shown to people in the district, she was recognised as Christina McMaster of Creek near Brunesson on Mull. Her father had identified her from the photo shown to him by a journalist who took an interest in the case. He stated he had little hope of his daughter giving up her nomadic way of life, as she had always had a wandering disposition. She had been in and around Glasgow, he said, and often visited her grandfather on Tiree before her time as a wandering hermit. However, it seems McMaster was mistaken. One day in November, the woman gave her name as Miss Margaret McDougall to a lady who stopped by and spoke to her. She told her story to this lady, who believed she was around 40 or 45, although others who'd spoken to her believed she was around 25. In fact, she'd been born in 1866 on the island of Tiree, and informed the woman she'd spent most of her life in Glasgow. She'd given up her job as a nurse come housemaid to take up a job in a laundry at 2 shillings a day, but 4 months earlier she'd become seriously ill with rheumatism in the toe and finger joints. She went to a hospital for treatment, and when she began to recover, the doctors advised her to give up the work, as having her hands in water constantly would simply aggravate it. With no means of earning and unwilling to take charity from family and friends, she decided to leave the city. With her few belongings in a bag and bundle, she'd walked to Ardmaddy, sleeping under the summer sky. About 4 weeks into walking, she discovered she had no money for lodgings, so decided to live on the shore near Ardmaddy Castle. She went on to tell the woman that the story of her eating shellfish and berries was untrue. She was able to buy meat, bread and other things, but only enough to keep her from starving. She spent most of her time sitting on a stone, knitting stockings, although she herself went bare-legged and barefoot. The dress she wore was described as a mix of cotton and wool, but was very short, which in reality meant it reached down between her knee and ankle. The bodice appeared to be stuffed with papers as it bulged outwards, which she informed the lady was her most treasured possessions. She seemed to be perfectly sane and was talkative when approached in the right way, and could speak both Gaelic and English. She admitted her parents were alive, but hadn't heard from them for 3 years or so, and she had no desire to hear from them either. She also admitted to the woman that she would be happy to find work again in a laundry or as a housemaid before the winter came, as sleeping out in the elements was beginning to take its toll. She had intended to remain there until spring, but the weather was so inclement she changed her mind. However, she fell ill with pleurisy, and the local poor law officer provided her with accommodation with the intention of returning her to her relatives. When she was well enough, however, she left and resumed her nomadic life at Kilninver between Ardmaddy Castle and Oban. In order to save her from herself, the police arrested her in May 1902. Throughout her stay at Ardmaddy, the woman received as many as 6 letters a day, many of them from England and Europe. This seemed to suggest that she was in correspondence with these people, but still she refused to tell the authorities who she was. What became of the hermit woman after this is unknown. In 1906, an advert appeared in the Oban Times for the steamer Countess of Bantry, which was going to call in at Easdale, and it stated that it would be passing Ardmaddy, the late home of the Lady Hermit. If you enjoyed this episode of Scotland's History, please like, comment and subscribe. Until next time, thank you for watching.